In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to make a drum beat in Reaper. My name is Tobey from jazzmental.com. Thanks for joining me for another one of my tutorials. This is the third in our playlist for Autumn Leaves project that we're currently working on. If you haven't seen the first two videos, I'm going to post a link up here to the beginning of the playlist. And the first video, we tore apart Autumn Leaves, learned it together on the piano, changed a few chords. In the second video, we added a bass line and we talked about how to make a walking bass line. In this video, we're going to take it from where we left off and we're going to create the most realistic swing jazz drum beat in Reaper. And you're probably going to want to know how to do that. So stick around to the very end because there's a few steps to follow and we're going to get started right now. Okay, so let's dive into our project for Autumn Leaves. We're currently in Finale. If you look at the sheet that we've got going, the first line is for the piano track, the second line is for the bass, and the third line is for the drums. Let me play a little bit of what that sounds like. So not the most realistic drum track. It was simply created by going to the plugins area, scoring and arranging, and then choosing to add a drum groove. So it just automatically generates this drum line, which again isn't very realistic. So what I did was I exported this out using MIDI file, and then that created a MIDI file that we can then import into Reaper. So let's go and open Reaper right now. Once you have Reaper open, all you have to do is go to Insert Media File and then choose the MIDI sequence that you exported out of Finale. And then that creates 3 tracks in Reaper, and then you can set the instruments for each. Now, the MIDI drum track, which is the third track here, we're using this free MT Power drum kit. And essentially, if you put your mouse on each one of these, it plays them. But again, because it's automatically generated, it's going to sound kind of hokey. So let's play and hear what it sounds like. So again, sounds pretty hokey, right? So what we want to do is let's create a new track, and we're going to call this Realistic Drums. And for this, we're going to grab a real drummer. So what to do here is just go to YouTube, and I typed in the keyword phrase swing drum beat 120 beats per minute, which is kind of standard medium swing tempo. And then you're given all of these potential choices by various drummers. Some of them are using drum machines and loops and things, but I like the more realistic ones. So as I was going through these, I zeroed in on 2 of them. Here's the first one. Let's play it. So I didn't really like that one because I've played with a lot of jazz drummers in my career, and I've yet to find a drummer who just kicks the bass drum on 1 each time. So that's not the best one, but it was the best one I found, so I bookmarked it. And then I found this one, which is a 20-minute drum beat. Let's play that one. So not only can you tell it's a real drummer because that's what the video says, it sounds more realistic. And that kick isn't there, and it sounds pretty good. Now, it doesn't have a ton of fills and stuff, but that's fine. So what we're going to do is we're going to record that using any screen capture software that you have. In this particular case, you can see I'm using Camtasia. I'm just going to rewind this track to the beginning by pressing 0 on my keyboard, and then I'm going to hit record. It's going to count down 3, 2, 1, and then we're just going to start recording. So let me record that for a few minutes, and I'll get back to you momentarily once I've recorded a couple of minutes of it. The nice thing about Camtasia is once it's recorded, you can export it simply using an MP3 file. Now, if you recorded it using OBS Studio, that's fine, but it creates an MP4 file and then you have to convert that to MP3. But in Camtasia's case, all you have to do is go to custom production settings and then export it as MP3 audio only. And we're going to save that in a folder called Reaper Media Files Samples Drum Loops that we created previously. And I'm going to call this Swing Drums 120 beats per minute. And just to make sure I get the right one, I'm going to put Autumn Leaves on it as well. And click Finish. Right, so now that we're back into Reaper, you want to go View Media Explorer. And you can see that we're in the Drum Loops Summertime. So let's just go back a little bit, go up to Drum Loops, and open the folder Swing Drums, Autumn Leaves. And what we're going to do is just simply drag that track into here, and we're going to move it, cut it to the beginning and put that there, and just mute the other tracks and just play this one solo. So you can see that we have to figure out where one is. So it seems to be there. So cut it to where that is, and then move that to the beginning. So we can make this bigger just by dragging that to get a clearer picture of where those beats are. And then you have to align it properly with the right speed. So let's just cut the track here by clicking S. And then let's play it again with a metronome. So let's turn the metronome on. So you can clearly see that it's out of sequence. So play it a little bit more. So this is clearly one here, right there. So move it to the beginning of there, and then see, cut that, split the track with S, and then let's move that just to the beginning of any beat. So you can see at the top, that's 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's put that there, and then let's play it again. So that's clearly one right there. So what you want to do is grab the track at the end, put your cursor near the end of this track, and click the Alt key, and then Shift, and then just stretch it out so that that beat gets on top of the measure. So we're getting close. Let's stretch it out a little bit more. So we got to move it back a little bit there. Okay, we're getting really close now. So now let's stretch this out and go and find let's cut the track here. Let's move this to the beginning here to the pickup. So we have to move this over one beat because that's one. Okay, I think we're there. Let's turn on the bass. Let's see what that sounds like. And that pretty much does it. It's just really about aligning the MP3 file with the beat in Reaper. And that's the controls on how to do that. I hope that made sense to you. So if you have any specific questions about how to do that or what I was doing, please post it in the comments below. I'd love to answer that question and maybe even make another video about it and drill down on it. That's how I make a drum beat in Reaper that's realistic, because that's the most important part when you're putting a project together, is to get realistic drums. And I've never felt that, especially with swing, that you can get a realistic drum sound using MIDI. So that's how to do that. I hope you enjoyed that video. Thanks for your time. Well, thanks for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. We're making 5 videos a week, just like this one, on various aspects of music and the music business. So I'd really appreciate it if you could come back and join me another time. Take care.